Hello, Kelly. How are you feeling today?
I'm feeling good.
Good. Have a good day, I guess?
Yeah, it's a pretty good day.
Good. The last time we met, you told me about your relationship with your brother. Has that relationship changed any over between the last time we spoke and now?
No, it hasn't.
For better or worse or
It's just about the same.
same?
Mm-hmm.
Well, why don't we begin today by picking up and talking about where the relationship really began to change. You spoke last time about how at one point, uh, and for the majority of your life, I guess, you felt like your relationship with your brother has been good. So tell me about when and how that began to change to where you feel it is now.
Well, I guess part of why I felt like we were close is because we grew up together and so we were around each other a lot. And part of that growing apart was when we weren't living together anymore. You know, when we moved off to college, we even went to the same college together. And we weren't as close then either because we had different sets of friends. But then um, I got married, and he was living on his own in another town, and so distance a little bit started, I guess wedging the relationship part, and then also he um, seemed to have different priorities than I do in life, and um, I guess really where I think it changed is he he's a member of the church, but he stopped that stopped being a priority in his life. So things that we used to do together involving that, we can't even really talk about very much anymore. So that's where it's become different.
You could share a relationship with one another because of your association with the church.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you feel sad because of, you said, distance and priorities that have changed in each of your lives, and then also his decision to not be a faithful Christian.
Right. Yeah, it makes me sad.
Um, do you think that your sadness is just related to distance and just the difference in life and in the church? Do you think that there is any way that you have changed in your relationship with your brother?
Well, maybe. I feel like I've always wanted us to have a good relationship. So I don't know if that's really changed. I mean, obviously, I've matured and um, I'm in a different stage in my life than he is. So maybe that's another reason why. Maybe because I'm married and he's not. So maybe that's another reason why things are different now.
Mm-hmm.
We can't share, we don't share um, that similarity where if he were married, maybe we could do things together more often.
Do you feel like maybe the culminating reason why the relationship has changed is because of the different lives that both of you have?
Mm-hmm, I think so.
Are there issues with communication as well? Is there any communication that takes place between either of you?
I mean, normally I try to contact him, and sometimes I don't get a response at all. But every once in a while, he will send me something or call or so I know that he is thinking about me sometimes. He just might not be very good at expressing it or keeping up with it, and I know that I'm just better at keeping up with that than he is. So
Does it disappoint you that he does not think to call or communicate with you as often as you would like?
mm-hmm. Yeah, it does.
Is that disappointment? Do you think that comes from his lack of concern for you, or just his priorities, as you said?
Well, I used to think that it came from that he wasn't concerned about me. I don't know if I believe that he cares about me, but I used to think that it was that, but I'm pretty sure it's just priorities. You know, if he's busy or doing other things, or he might think that I don't have time to talk to him. I'm not sure. I don't think it's because he doesn't care about me. I used to think that though.
You used to think that it was because he didn't care, but now you feel like he does.
Yeah, I just from when I do see him and talk to him, I can tell that he does care, but I guess it could just be several reasons why we're different now than we used to be. So.
Do you feel like it's important for you to really understand how he does care about you?
Yeah, I probably need to think about that more often.
Probably.
Yeah.
You said that in knowing that he cares about you, what are some ways that he obviously shows that? Or is there anything that you said that when you do communicate with one another, it's good communication? Are there any other ways, events, times when you get together that you see his concern and care for what's going on in your life?
Well, yeah, we always have family get-togethers, but or occasionally talk on the phone or something. But I guess just because maybe I'm the kind of person that shows that I care in different ways. That's why it seems like he doesn't as much.
I feel like we've talked about and recognized a lot of differences between you two. That's common in a lot of sibling relationships. The differences that each sister or brother can have. I think the way that we cope and deal with those differences are what make our relationship with one another. There are things that we can work on that can help you have comfort in how you feel about your relationship with your brother. Of course, he's not with us. There are things that we can't control from his standpoint, on his part. But there are things that we can work on. I like how you've said that you recognize that he cares for you. In keeping that always in our mind, we can work on ways that you can make sure you're showing that same care for him, and then also allowing you to be not comfortable, but understanding in the way he may be different than you. Tell me more about the way that he. Tell me more about the way that he's different than you in regards to how he feels about the church. I feel like that's really important in your life, and as someone who's a Christian as well, I understand the importance of that just above all things. And if you don't recognize that, if you don't share that common ground with him, then I understand how tough that can be. Where do you think his spiritual life is?
I just don't think it's a priority anymore, which I always worried about that happening because we didn't have that example in our home growing up. So I thought maybe that might happen when he got older, but we usually can't. I used to, because we were so close, I used to try to talk to him about where he was spiritually, and he would listen, but there wasn't usually much of a response. So I don't know if that's part of the reason too why we don't communicate as much. Maybe he doesn't. Maybe he's afraid I'm going to say something, even though I really don't. I've only said something a couple of times, so I wouldn't think he would be afraid of that. But that is a big difference because most of the time when I'm going to tell him about something, if he asks me what I've been doing, then it's church related. So
from our time today, I've gathered that his relationship with God is very important to you. Is that right? And then I've also gathered that you feel disappointment from the different lives that you guys have embarked upon, and then also his priorities being different than yours. One of those main things being his rejection of his spirituality and faith in God. We've got a lot to work on, but we can make some promising steps toward making this relationship fulfilling for you. And I'm anxious to get started on